Pakistani guest, before we come into what the government's messaging of India will be, let's bring in what Pakistan's perspective is. And Dr. Atikur Rahman, it appears the inherent contradictions of Pakistan. On one side, you're getting pummeled by Afghanistan on your northern border along the Durand line. On the other hand, in your southern coastal areas of Karachi, the people are taking law into their own hands. They're entering the US consulate despite the great relations that the regime there in Pakistan is trying to build with the United States. What's really going on and who's in control of the narrative and of what's happening in Pakistan?
Madam, the situation is very much clear. Like the war is at our border. I mean, our neighboring countries, when they are involved, definitely we are suffering from the spillover effects of that war. And no doubt the people having some sympathies or some ideological association with Iran, they are reacting, but that is not a big deal. We are taking care of it. We are managing this chaos. And very effectively we are managing. Our government is very much vigilant. We are just taking care of everything. And we are monitoring the entire situation. No doubt people try to record their protest in a different way, but we have very effectively overcome that situation. You can see our media. And on the other hand, you should understand that when your neighbor is in a war, definitely you cannot spare yourself from the spillover effects of that war. And we are suffering from that. But we have the plan and the determination to just make ourselves safe from this crisis.
No, but Atikur Rahman, Dr. Nathan, one second. Dr. Atikur Rahman, but has the Pakistan government condemned the killing of Khamenei?
You can see the media. We have already recorded our condemnation. You can see the media. It is everywhere on the
US
media.
Marines.
All right, Dr. Nathan has a question for you.
Yes, sir. Is it true that the US Marines have killed 10 Pakistanis? Can you confirm that?
Still, we do not have any confirmation of it, and we are monitoring the situation. It's really, I mean, illogical to comment anything on that. Definitely, a tragic incident has happened, but we are not in a position to pose the responsibility to anyone.
But what kind of a regime are you if you can't even control your crowds from entering a friendly country's consulate? What kind of government is that?
Mother, is very much natural. I have explained it. Our neighboring countries in the war, definitely we cannot spare ourselves from
No, that's in a neighboring country. What about your own country? Within your borders, you can't control the people protesting.
We are controlling it.
How? By allowing them to rampage in consulates.
Enforcement agencies, our religious leader, our religious leader, they have also approached people. They have sent a very clear message that we respect their sentiments.
No, but why were people allowed to enter a consulate in the first place? What is your police doing? Is it sleeping?
The peace and stability of our country. It is a very, I mean, tragic incident. People march. You cannot translate it. We allowed someone. If we allowed, then why we are stopping the people? So it's a natural.
You are allowing them. So you think that this is the way to go to strengthen ties with the United States. All right. Captain Bansal, I want you to come in on this because, you know, the contradictions of Pakistan. I mean, what's happening, of course, the larger picture in the Middle East is certainly the biggest talking point. But what's really inherent in Pakistan, how the left hand doesn't seem to know what the right hand is doing.
See, firstly, we need to be very clear that Pakistan's present regime is certainly not representative. It doesn't represent the aspirations of the people, doesn't represent the people. In Karachi, as Anand rightly brought out, I'm not very sure if the Marines shot it, but the Pakistani newspaper is very clearly saying that at least 9 people killed and 36 others injured when the US consulate in Karachi was stormed. And this is from a mainstream English newspaper of Pakistan, the News. So there is obviously a turbulence. We have already seen what happened on Afghan border just a few days back when more than 50 Pakistani troops were killed by Taliban in an attack. Pakistan has actually gone inside Afghanistan and targeted. The fact of the matter is that Shiite Islam, as Anand rightly brought out, is not a monolith, firstly. Even Ithnai Sharias or the 12er Shias do not have a common leader. Wilayat-e Faqih, or as the supreme leader, as Al-Khamenei is called, is actually an innovation and no theological text actually justifies that. Grand Ayatollah Sistani undoubtedly is far more clerically and theologically learned person than Al-Khamenei, who was not even an marja when he was appointed as Velayat-e Faqih. In fact, the constitution had to be amended to make him the supreme leader after the death of Ayatollah Khomeini. So as far as theological conditions are concerned, Khomeini is not a great leader. I have been to Iran twice in last 1 year, and I can tell you he is extremely unpopular as far as common masses in Iran are concerned. Now, having eliminated Al-Khamenei, now the situation is very critical. We need to understand that the President Pezeshkian is actually a moderate, somebody who is not a politician, who is actually a physicist, who has been pitch-forced into politics. Given a chance, he may probably move the regime away from this. But in times of war, people are definitely rallying around the flag. Even those who probably disliked Khamenei are not ready to accept that US and Israel can attack their country and torment it. We also need to understand that as the conflict continues and it aggravates, the Iranian state might unravel. This is a very significant factor, and which is quite feasible, because in the West you have Kurds who are already extremely powerful. You have Turkish Kurds whose forces have moved into Iraqi Kurdistan. Peshmerga, the force of Iraqi Kurds, is strong. In Syria, the Kurds are on the back foot. So the Kurds may like to create a stronghold in Iran if the Iranian regime is crumbling. That's a feasibility, and that may be in the long-term interest of Israel and the stability of the Middle East, because Kurds are one group which has been denied their homeland for a very, very long period of time, and they are a very secular left-leaning community which has no ill will towards Israel or US or anybody else. So that's one field. And again, on the eastern front, the Baloch who have been fighting the Iranian regime are waiting for an opportunity. Should they get a regime, the province of Sistan, where Balochistan may try to seek autonomy or independence, as the case may be. So how the Iranian regime spans out, it depends on it. How long does this conflict continues is also very important. But at the same time, there is no doubt that Iran is certainly not Venezuela. And if US feels that they can immediately change regime to bring in their puppet, it may not happen.
All right. Dr. Nathan wants to comment on that. Yes.
No, very quickly, the previous panelist has made some brilliant points. I just want to add something to it, which we must keep in consideration. America and Israel have knowingly gone into this war, understanding that under no circumstances must this be a long drawn out war. Please remember that unlike Russia, that can, prolong the Ukraine war for another decade, it doesn't care for the body bags. Americans are petrified. America has never won a long drawn out war. Vietnam being one example, Afghanistan being another. Because the moment you have American deaths, that is something that signals to America, let's pull out of it. So they have gone into this knowing very well that they must immediately get the results and put in a regime favorable to them. The more this war prolongs, the more disastrous it would be for America.
Yeah, the more it prolongs, the more disastrous it will be for America, is a point of view that is being expressed. And I want to bring in Dr. Rafael George Bushnik-Chen. The question is this, that if you're looking at the regime unraveling in Iran, a number of points that Captain Bansal made a short while ago, but the bigger question is that why are they, they're of course launching these huge amount of warheads. We're looking at missiles, we're looking at drones, etc. that's being launched. What exactly is the message that they're going to look at? And what is a possible off-ramp once they attack civilian targets, because that's only going to lead to more escalation?
Yes, indeed. What the Iranians are trying to achieve is to shorten the period of the war. We are just in the second day of this campaign, and already Iran is so I would say so deeply damaged that they are crying, for help. And one of the methods they are using is to try to launch missiles towards Israel in order to cause an internal opposition from Israel to continue the war. At the moment, they are not achieving that goal, because most of the incoming missiles are being intercepted, including 5 missiles that were just intercepted 5 minutes ago. So apparently, except for minor damage and few casualties that we suffered yesterday and this morning, the Iranians are not achieving any of their goals. So I believe that the main campaign of the Iranians now is against American assets in the Gulf.
Right.
And on this respect, I would like to say that the fact that even this morning the Iranian launched missile towards Saudi Arabia next to Riyadh or next to Jeddah, I'm not sure. This means that Saudi Arabia may join the coalition of Israel and the United States and will also, first of all, enable using its territory for strikes against Iran. And secondly, there is a possibility that the Saudi Arabian will use their SSMs, their long-range missiles, against Iran. So I'm not excluding a kind of, deterioration in a way that Iran will target the oil facilities in Saudi Arabia. And this will be a great change in the, I would say, in the pattern of this war.
Okay.
I hope they won't do that.